Well, we've got quite a bit of weather to talk about over the next few days, from severe thunderstorm potential as soon as later this morning, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. Heavy rain and flooding for some, wildfire danger for others. It's windy for everybody. And oh yeah, bit of a cold front late next week. Let's talk about it in this Friday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. It's Friday, the 26th of April, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy in Chief David Reimer. This is actually a live Texas Weather Roundup. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it live because it's kind of been a busy night across parts of the state. And, well, it took me this long to get all the graphics compiled. I figured, we'll just do it live. So if you're watching after the fact, good morning. Hi there. I'll have time codes put into the description of this video after the fact so y'all can scroll through it. Let's just take a look at what's going on right now, what's been going on overnight. This is the weather radar over the last several hours. For a majority of the state, it's quiet, and it's been quiet. We did have initial thunderstorms develop in the Permian Basin late last evening, producing quarter to golf ball size hail. Those moved northeast into west central Texas, forming into a cluster that produced winds near 70 miles an hour in Post over towards Wichita Falls this morning. For the most part, the severe weather issues now well into Oklahoma. We've had a few spin-up tornadoes just east of Oklahoma City this morning near Shawnee. We've got a tornado warning now near Sapulpa, Oklahoma, just southwest of Tulsa, with a line of severe storms marching east on Interstate 40 into eastern Oklahoma towards Fort Smith, Arkansas. Here in Texas, we got a few storms along 82 from near Wichita Falls to Gainesville. They're not severe at this point. Can't rule out some gusty winds, hail. Otherwise, take notice, we've had nothing going on at all, which is a bit of a surprise. When I posted a video last evening, I showed some high-res weather model data that suggested storms like this may be an Oklahoma issue, and other data suggested we'd have a solid line all the way down to the Concho Valley. Clearly, the one that suggested Oklahoma won, because we've got, some scattered showers and storms along the dry line Pacific front, but, there's nothing going on, which is good, but at the same time, we don't like busted forecast either. So with that in mind, welcome to late May. It's a pain in the behind. All right, let's take a look at what we expect as we go into later this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. Just because yesterday didn't end up being much does not mean the next several days will have the same fate. We hope it does, but it's not a guarantee. This is the Storm Prediction Center Severe Weather Outlook for today, the 26th of April, Friday. The possibility for scattered severe thunderstorms pretty much late this morning through early this evening. North Texas, the Arklatex, northeast Texas, with isolated severe thunderstorms possible all the way back into the Big Country, down the dry line, Pacific Cool Front, into the Hill Country, central Texas, the western Brazos Valley, into the Edwards Plateau. Now, strongest storms today, hail up to the size of baseballs, damaging straight-line winds, the potential for a few tornadoes. Let's take a look at some data for today. This is the high-res rapid refresh model. For what it's worth, this model is the one that did show storms mostly in Oklahoma last night, so it did a decent job. That is not a guarantee it's going to do a decent job with today, but we'll take a look at this, then we'll take a look at the North American model. For what it's worth, this model does develop scattered severe thunderstorms in portions of North Texas and Texoma around lunchtime today, which is possible. We're still going to have some upper level lift in place. The overall environment, to be totally honest with you, is highly supportive of severe weather. We're going to have strong low level wind shear. So if we have storms popping around North Texas at noon and they're semi-discrete and supercellular, we honestly could have a pretty big problem here. But this is a conditional threat. Hopefully not happen at all. But if it does, yes, we could be dealing with Oh, what's an analogy I could use? Those of you who've been around a while may remember the 3rd of April 2012. We had supercells fire up around 11 a.m. in North Texas. In Johnson Ellis counties, moved northeast, Tarrant, Dallas, Collin, eventually over into Kaufman, Rockwall counties. Had several tornadoes with that activity. That's the kind of thing we could have happen here with these storms if this scenario plays out. But there's about a 1 in 5 chance that happens. There's a 4 in 5 chance it doesn't. But we're going to watch that. We're going to watch this activity late this morning into early this afternoon in case we do have enough oomph to get some storms going by lunchtime. They'd move northeast quickly, 30 to 50 miles an hour, the potential for large hail, damaging winds, maybe even a few tornadoes. Again, conditional probability here. Maybe a 20 to 25% chance that happens. 60, 75% chance we've got a couple of showers, a couple of storms that aren't producing tornadoes and baseball-sized hail across northeast Texas, North Texas, Texoma, late this morning into early this afternoon. Now, a key note here to point out, all that moves out by early afternoon. Back west, the dry line is still west of Interstate 35, and if this is right, we're going to have clearing skies. The atmosphere is going to become extremely unstable this afternoon. That might allow for isolated severe thunderstorm development across North Texas, Texoma, the Hill Country, Central Texas. I don't think we're going to have many storms. We may not have any storms, just like yesterday afternoon out in the Panhandle, West Texas. But if we get a storm to go up, it's going to be dropping softball-sized hail real quick, damaging winds, and perhaps a tornado threat. To be honest with you, if we have storms around lunchtime, those are going to have a higher tornado threat because we're going to have strong low-level wind shear. Low-level wind shear decreases by late this afternoon, posing more of a hail threat. I realize, this isn't as simple as me just trying to show you a video graphic, a 15-second animation, be like, this is what's going to happen today. Well, I'm not going to do that because that would just give you a false sense of security in the forecast. What I'm doing here is presenting you with the possibilities and the potential outcomes, at least the more plausible possibilities. All right, now let's take a look at the North American model. This is the model that showed a squall line all the way down to the Concho Valley last night into this morning. All right, well, that's not the graphic I wanted. My apologies. We got ahead of ourselves. By the way, in case you're wondering, we're going to have storms tomorrow. Okay, let's do this. Let's take a look. You know what? No. So again, this is what the HRRR shows early this afternoon. The North American model, similar solution, also popping off a few storms late this afternoon east of the dry line, Texoma, North Texas, Central Texas. And again, most folks are not going to get hit by storms today. But if those who do, they could be a problem. For what it's worth, scattered showers, maybe some storms, East Texas, Southeast Texas, those aren't expected to be severe. The entire state's going to be windy today. Regardless of any sort of stormy doom, it's going to be windy. You can thank the storm system bringing tornadoes to eastern Oklahoma this morning for that. All right, tonight, mostly quiet. Maybe some scattered showers popping up here and there. Leading into tomorrow. Tomorrow, the potential to be busy across Kansas, Oklahoma, and parts of Texas. The Storm Prediction Center highlighting 2 rounds of possible severe storms tomorrow. The initial round possible after, well, technically 3 if you want to get technical. We may have some storms in northwest Texas, Texoma tomorrow morning. If those develop, they may have some hail. Move up into Oklahoma, they give Oklahoma hail. Whoop-de-doo. Second round or first round, whatever. Early, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. The potential for isolated severe storms to develop east of the dry line in northwest Texas, Texoma, maybe a couple storms farther south into the Concho Valley. Any storm that goes up tomorrow afternoon has a decent chance of becoming a supercell with baseball to softball size hail, damaging winds 60 to 70 miles an hour. A tornado threat would exist. Highest tornado potential looks like Texoma, Oklahoma into Kansas. To be totally honest with you, the event cap for tomorrow in terms of how bad things could get, not just Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, it's pretty high. If some of these questions and uncertainties we have, like morning storm development, how quickly will storms move out, become answered and trend towards favorable for afternoon storms, there's quite tomorrow is going to be a pretty bad day in terms of tornadoes across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, maybe Texoma. But we've had plenty of events this year that have looked ominous, but have just gone to dookie the day of because of morning storms, a stronger cap, late arrival timing. But in terms of the potential event threshold for tomorrow, yeah, it's quite high. A lot of ingredients are going to be in place that are quite classic and synonymous with Southern Plains tornado outbreaks. But that does not mean we're going to have tornadoes flying in Texas. That doesn't mean we're going to have, dozens of tornadoes flying in Kansas or Oklahoma tomorrow. It does mean we're going to be very vigilant, and it probably means every storm chaser, not only in the country, but from international as well, is probably going to be centered over one of our 3 states tomorrow. You think Dallas traffic is bad? It's bad, but trust me, add a few thousand storm chasers onto 2-lane rural roads. There's a reason I don't go out storm chasing very much myself anymore, and I leave it to others. My patience with that stuff is just no. All right, so again, that is the potential for isolated storms tomorrow afternoon. More likely here in Texas is we're going to see a line of thunderstorms develop late Saturday evening into Sunday morning. Pretty much all the way from Oklahoma to the Mexico border. That line of storms is going to move east into Sunday morning with the potential for damaging winds, some hail, probably a few spin-up tornadoes. In fact, let's just take a look at the high-res rapid refresh model for tomorrow. Now, as you can see, this model does develop some morning thunderstorms across portions of northwest Texas, Oklahoma. Clears them out. Some of those storms are probably going to be severe. Higher threat of that up towards Oklahoma City, though. You can see by the late afternoon, if this model is correct, it would be a tornado outbreak across portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma. We even have a few supercells with all modes of severe weather possible across northwest Texas, Texoma, that move up into Oklahoma. And then late tomorrow evening, early Sunday morning, we get a line of storms that fires up all the way from near Del Rio up to near Wichita, Kansas. That would move east as we go into Sunday morning. I'll let this animation play out. And we're going to switch to the North American model, which actually looks pretty similar to the HRRR in this case. By tomorrow evening, you can see that line of storms through Sunday morning would make it to Interstate 35, damaging winds, maybe some hail, and spin-up tornadoes. Rain chances high Sunday night into Monday across the northeastern quarter of Texas. Severe thunderstorms possible again as we go into Sunday afternoon across pretty much North Texas, Texoma, the Arklatex, East Texas, parts of Central Texas. We'll deal with Sunday once we can get past today, get into tomorrow, figure out how tomorrow's going to play out. We'll deal with Sunday, but what starts Saturday will continue on Sunday with heavy rain producing flooding tomorrow night in Texoma, Sunday in parts of North Texas, Northeast Texas, and East Texas, in addition to severe thunderstorm potential with so much tropical moisture in place. Some locations may get 3 inches of rain in an hour, which would cause flooding. So, yeah, we're going to be busy. We're probably going to be a bit busy today. We are going to be much more busy tomorrow and tomorrow night. And we're probably going to be busy on Sunday. Though Sunday, the threat may shift away from spinny, doom issues towards some hail, some wind, and flooding. Now, I realize everything I just said here is probably freaking some of y'all out. Let's be perfectly clear. It's late April in Texas. We're almost to May. This is typical. We're not talking about some crazy historic tornado outbreak. We're not talking about end of the world stuff. We're just talking about what we typically deal with. And again, even if we have a lot of severe weather tomorrow and tomorrow night, keep in mind, most folks aren't going to get hit by it. Even if we deal with large tornadoes in Oklahoma, Kansas, maybe even Texas, guess what? Even mile-wide tornadoes are small compared to the size of one of our Texas counties. So again, you're already in better shape than most folks out there, knowing we're probably going to have some weather issues today, tomorrow, Sunday. So guess what? That is power to you. Information is power. Now, I get it. I really do. When I have nasty storms bearing down on me while I'm sitting here doing coverage, yeah, I get anxiety. I grew up with storm anxiety as a kid. That's why I got into weather, learned about weather, so I'd be less afraid. I didn't think I'd be chasing the darn things, but life kind of does that to people sometimes. So again, just stay weather aware. We'll keep you updated. We're going to have all our chasers pretty much out. Those chasers not out are going to be back monitoring data, posting updates as needed. I'll probably even be out chasing tomorrow the way it looks. So, yeah, we're going to have live coverage as needed. We're going to have live storm chasing video. We're going to have all that. We're going to keep you updated. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen west of the dry line. That's not west of the dry line. West of the dry line. Now, it's going to be windy across the entire state, but as we deal with issues west of the dry line, we're going to have wildfire issues, blowing dust. Now, fire weather, it may not be as sexy as spinny, spinny doom-dooms, but fire weather is severe weather. So again, with this in mind, today, very high wildfire danger west of the dry line. Western third of Texas, it looks like. Tomorrow, same story. The Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Big Bend, the Davis-Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, the borderland, far West Texas around El Paso. Sunday, that might shift a little further east. It's still going to be busy in the fire weather department. So, again, east of the dry line, storms, flooding. West of the dry line, blowing dust, wildfires. So, we're just going to go through this one day at a time. We'll get through it just fine. If we can do what we did yesterday and pretty much have nothing happen until 11 p.m. with some hail, that's perfectly fine with me. I am perfectly fine looking like a fool on the internet, trust me. You wouldn't be the first to call me mean names, and you will certainly not be the last. But we're going to have to keep an eye on things because the potential is there, at least conditionally, that, yeah, we could have some issues by lunchtime in North Texas, Texoma. We could have issues late this afternoon, early this evening, North Texas, Central Texas. Most folks are not going to have issues, but if you end up under one of these rowdy storms later today, you're going to have issues. And then tomorrow, issues, Oklahoma, Kansas, Northwest Texas, Texoma, by probably mid to late afternoon. And then tomorrow night into Sunday morning, we get a squall line that goes from Del Rio to Vernon, Texas, to Wichita, or Vernon, Texas. Oh, sweet mama mercy, I need to take a nap. Vernon, Texas, up to Wichita, Kansas. And that all moves east to Interstate 35 Sunday morning with wind, maybe some hail, maybe a few tornadoes with the squall line, and heavy rainfall that will cause flooding, especially in parts of North Texas, Texoma, and then that threat will continue into Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, into probably Monday across Northeast Texas, parts of North Texas and East Texas. So, yeah. We're going to be busy the next few days, but it's late April. It's going to be okay. We'll get you through it. We're going to be here keeping an eye on things, assuming this place I'm located in doesn't get leveled by a tornado tomorrow. For what it's worth, this room I'm in is actually in on the border of Oklahoma City and Moore. And there's a reason I'll probably be out storm chasing tomorrow. It's so I'm not necessarily in this room if it gets leveled. Hopefully that's not an issue. But given the time of year, you always have to wonder, especially given the fact I live pretty much on the border of Moore, Oklahoma. It's literally about 100 yards that way. Literally, it is 100 yards that way from where I'm sitting right now. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on things. We're going to have some backups and contingencies in place just in case. So, if I'm doing severe weather coverage from a campground tomorrow, well, you'll know why. All right, so with that being said, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on things. You can do the same with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. We've got interactive weather radars. We've got 2 of them, actually. We have these daily Texas weather roundups. There's going to be more than one today, probably. We have live storm chasing video. We're going to have chasers today. I believe they're going to be in, meteorologist Jason Cooley will probably say it in the comments if you're watching live or watching the chat replay. I think they're going to be in Nebraska, Iowa, maybe Kansas. And then tomorrow, yeah, they're probably all going to be congregated around North Texas, Texoma, Northwest Texas into Oklahoma. And then we'll have Pride Chasers out on Sunday and Monday as well, and live severe weather coverage as necessary. So, yeah, we're going to be busy. But stay tuned. Keep up. Hit that big old thumbs up button if you appreciate these updates, watching us on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel. And as always, if you want to keep up with the latest, hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate it. It helps us with the magical, super mysterious, yet always changing algorithm. And yeah, so welcome to late April, folks. We do these videos on a daily basis, but clearly a lot more of you watch when we actually have some sort of issue to talk about. And just think, it's not even hurricane season yet. We get to deal with that sooner than we all want to deal with it. P.S. It's probably going to be a busy hurricane season. Hopefully that doesn't mean it's a busy one for us. And finally, on that note, if we have one tornado over the next 3 days in the state of Texas and it comes down your street, it's going to be a big deal for you. So don't get caught up in the hyperbole of what risk level you're in, what, all the indices say, the super scary tornado index. To be honest with you, none of that matters. If you're in a risk level, 1 to 5, any risk level, you have a threat of severe weather. If there's one tornado tomorrow, it comes down your block, you're going to have a bad day. So have a way to receive weather warnings. Same goes for today. Same goes for Monday. Same goes for Sunday. Apparently, it's Dyslexic Friday. Our typical weekend schedule is no videos. Clearly, that's not going to be the case this weekend. We'll be doing the usual schedule and more. And again, we'll be here. That's what we do. So, all right, that's going to be it for your very extended duration Texas weather roundup this morning. We'll keep an eye on things today. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with storms around noon in Texoma, North Texas. I'd be perfectly content being able to get a little more sleep than 3 hours, but we'll see what Mama Nature decides to do, and then we'll have to keep an eye out late this afternoon into early this evening across North Texas, Texoma, Central Texas for some isolated supercell development. Otherwise, we'll see what happens tomorrow. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all those who have subscribed. Thank you for trusting us for your weather information. We'll do our best to keep you up to date and informed over the next several days. And as always, we hope you have a great day. God bless.